Here is something most people never hear during a routine visit. Every night, while the rest of your body is slowing down, your kidneys are still working hard. They are filtering your blood, balancing minerals, clearing waste, helping control blood pressure, and managing fluid levels while you sleep. And what you eat in the last hour before bed can either support that overnight shift or quietly make it harder. Most kidney advice online is built around fear. Cut sodium, cut sugar, cut processed foods, watch potassium, watch phosphorus. And yes, all of that matters. But there is another side to the conversation that almost nobody explains well enough. If your goal is to protect kidney function, reduce unnecessary strain, and give your body more support overnight, it is not only about what to avoid, it is also about what you choose to include. Tonight, I am walking you through the single best fruit to eat before bed for healthy kidneys, plus 7 other fruits that deserve a place on the list because they offer real antioxidant support, real anti-inflammatory benefit, and real value for your evening routine without putting an unnecessary burden on your kidneys. Before we get into it, subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss the next one, and drop a comment telling me where you are watching from and what time it is right now for you. I read every single comment. Stay with me until the very last fruit, because it comes with a catch most people never hear, and it matters more than you think. How your kidneys actually work. I am your doctor, and I want to take 2 minutes to explain the part that makes the rest of this video click. Your kidneys are 2 highly specialized filtering organs sitting just below your rib cage, one on each side of your spine. Together, they filter an enormous volume of blood every single day, removing toxins, excess fluid, waste products, and the leftovers from everything your body has processed. Then they send cleaner, balanced blood back into circulation. They also help regulate sodium, potassium, acid-base balance, and blood pressure through a remarkably precise system that works day and night. That last part is why bedtime matters. During healthy sleep, blood pressure is supposed to fall in a natural pattern. That nightly drop gives the tiny filtering units inside your kidneys a period of lower stress. But when sleep is poor, when blood sugar swings, when inflammation is high, or when you eat the wrong foods too close to bedtime, that recovery window is not as smooth as it should be. Over time, that matters. Kidney health is not only about what happens in the doctor's office or on a lab report. It is also about what your body is dealing with every single night. Now here is the nutritional tension almost nobody explains clearly. Your kidneys benefit from antioxidants, plant compounds, fiber, and anti-inflammatory nutrients that help protect blood vessels and reduce oxidative stress. But when kidney function is reduced, some people also need to be more cautious with high potassium foods. That creates confusion fast. People start assuming that all fruit is risky, all sweetness is a problem, and the safest option is to avoid fruit altogether. That is not true. The real goal is choosing fruits that give you meaningful protection without overloading a system that may already be under pressure. The fruit I am putting in the top spot solves that problem better than almost any other option, especially at night. The best fruit to eat before bed for healthy kidneys is tart cherries. This is the one that stands out because it supports 2 things at the same time: kidney-friendly nutrition and better sleep quality. Tart cherries contain plant compounds associated with lower oxidative stress, and they also contain natural melatonin and tryptophan, which can help support a healthier sleep rhythm. That combination matters because better sleep often means a healthier overnight blood pressure pattern, and that gives your kidneys a more favorable environment while they are doing their repair and filtration work. Tart cherries are also a smart choice because they are relatively lower in potassium than many fruits people reach for automatically. That makes them much easier to fit into a kidney-conscious routine, especially when portion size is kept reasonable. The compounds in tart cherries have been studied for inflammation, recovery, sleep quality, and cardiovascular support. And remember, heart health and kidney health are deeply connected. When inflammation and blood vessel damage improve in one system, the other often benefits too. So this is not just about getting sleepy before bed. It is about giving your body a fruit that works with your overnight physiology instead of against it. What to do? About half a cup to 1 cup of tart cherries, or a small serving of unsweetened tart cherry juice, around 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The key word there is unsweetened. If the product is packed with added sugar, you lose part of the benefit immediately. If you can find sour or Montmorency tart cherries specifically, those are the varieties most often discussed in relation to sleep support. This is the fruit I would start with first if you wanted one simple bedtime habit that feels realistic and easy to repeat. Runner-up number 2 is blueberries. Blueberries are one of the most consistently respected fruits in all of nutrition research, and they fit kidney support beautifully. They are naturally lower in potassium than many tropical fruits, and they are rich in anthocyanins, the deep blue pigments that help fight oxidative stress and inflammation. Those pigments are not just a colorful extra. Oxidative stress is one of the silent drivers of kidney decline, vascular damage, and accelerated aging. Blueberries help answer that problem in a very practical way. A small portion before bed gives you antioxidant support without asking much from your kidneys in return. Runner-up number 3 is strawberries. Strawberries are one of the easiest fruits to recommend because they are familiar, satisfying, and surprisingly kidney-friendly when portions are kept moderate. They are lower in potassium than many people assume, and they bring vitamin C, polyphenols, and antioxidant compounds that support blood vessels and help reduce inflammatory stress. They also work well in the evening because they are light. A heavy snack right before bed can leave your system working too hard when it should be winding down. Strawberries give you something refreshing, sweet, and protective without that heaviness. Runner-up number 4 is apples. Apples are underrated in kidney health because they seem too ordinary to matter, but ordinary foods are often the ones people can actually stick with. Apples are low in sodium, naturally modest in potassium, and rich in fiber, especially if you eat the peel. That fiber helps slow sugar absorption, support the gut, and create a steadier metabolic environment overnight. For people trying to protect both kidney health and blood sugar control, that is a valuable combination. A simple apple in the evening can be far more helpful than a processed snack marketed as healthy. Runner-up number 5 is red or purple grapes. Grapes are often included on kidney-friendly fruit lists for good reason. They are relatively easy to portion, naturally refreshing, and rich in beneficial plant compounds, especially in the skin of darker varieties. Red and purple grapes contain resveratrol and other polyphenols associated with vascular support and lower oxidative stress. That matters because kidney health depends heavily on the health of tiny blood vessels. If those vessels are under chronic pressure from inflammation, high blood sugar, and poor circulation, kidney function suffers with them. A small handful of grapes in the evening gives you a sweet option that still supports the bigger picture. Runner-up number 6 is raspberries. Raspberries bring a major advantage that deserves more attention: fiber. For their size, they are one of the highest fiber fruits you can eat. That fiber helps feed healthier gut bacteria, and that matters more than most people realize. Poor gut balance can increase inflammatory compounds that circulate through the body and make kidney stress worse. Better fiber intake supports a healthier internal environment. Raspberries also deliver antioxidant protection in a portion that is easy to keep moderate. If you want a fruit that feels substantial without being heavy, raspberries do that very well. Runner-up number 7 is pineapple. Pineapple surprises people because it tastes bold and tropical, and many assume that means it must be off limits. But in moderate amounts, fresh pineapple can fit very well into a kidney supportive plan. It is lower in potassium than several other popular fruits, and it contains bromelain, an enzyme linked to anti-inflammatory effects. Inflammation is one of the recurring themes in kidney decline, so any food that safely helps lower that burden deserves attention. Fresh pineapple is the better choice here. Canned versions often come with added syrup, and that changes the picture fast. Runner-up number 8 is cranberries, and this is the one with a catch. Cranberries have earned a strong reputation for urinary tract support, and there is real value there, especially for people prone to recurrent urinary issues. But the form matters. Most cranberry products sold in stores are loaded with added sugar because raw cranberries are extremely tart. That means a product marketed as protective can quietly become something that works against your kidneys if you are drinking sweetened cranberry cocktails on a regular basis. The benefit belongs to unsweetened forms, not the sugary versions most people buy without thinking. It is also important to say this clearly. Cranberries may help reduce the chance of certain recurrent urinary problems, but they do not treat an active infection. If you think you have a urinary tract infection, that is a medical issue, not a juice problem. So if you want cranberries in a kidney-conscious bedtime routine, think small portions, unsweetened options, and realistic expectations. Use the right way, they can be helpful. Use the wrong way, they become another sugary health halo product, doing more harm than good. So what does the ideal bedtime kidney bowl look like? Keep it simple. Half a cup of tart cherries, a small handful of blueberries, and a few sliced strawberries. That gives you sleep-supportive compounds, antioxidant coverage, anti-inflammatory plant nutrients, fiber, and a potassium load that is easier to work with than many common evening snacks. No complicated powders, no expensive supplements, no wellness trend, just a practical bowl of fruit that supports your body at the exact time your kidneys are still on the job. Now let me give you one warning that matters. Kidney-friendly does not mean unlimited. If you have advanced kidney disease, if you are on dialysis, if your potassium has been running high, or if you have been given specific nutrition limits by your care team, broad advice from a video should never replace your personalized plan. These fruits are generally smart options, but your stage, your lab work, your medications, and your overall diet still matter. This is where a kidney dietitian becomes incredibly valuable. General guidance is useful. Personal guidance is better. I also want you to remember that healthy kidneys are protected by patterns, not single miracle foods. No fruit can cancel out chronic dehydration, high sodium processed meals, uncontrolled diabetes, untreated high blood pressure, or a habit of sleeping badly every night. What these fruits can do is strengthen the foundation. They can lower inflammatory burden, support vascular health, give you safer alternatives to processed desserts, and make your evening routine work more in your favor. That is how real progress usually happens. Not through one dramatic change, but through a series of smart, repeatable decisions. There is another reason bedtime fruit choice matters more than people think. Late at night, many people reach for foods that look small but create a surprisingly large metabolic load. Cookies, crackers, ice cream, sweetened cereal, chips, and so-called healthy granola bars often combine sugar, sodium, refined starch, and poor quality fats in a way that pushes blood sugar up, increases thirst, disrupts sleep, and leaves the body doing extra work during the exact hours it is supposed to be restoring itself. Replacing that kind of snack with the right fruit is not a tiny change. It is one of those quiet substitutions that improve several systems at once. Your kidneys face less sodium pressure, your blood vessels face less inflammatory stress, your sleep has a better chance of staying steady, and your morning numbers often look better because the night before was less chaotic. This is especially important for older adults. As we get older, kidney reserve naturally declines, even in people who have never been told they have kidney disease. The filtering system becomes less flexible. Blood pressure may become harder to control. Sleep becomes lighter. Medications increase. Fluid balance can become trickier. And on top of that, many adults over 60 are also managing blood sugar concerns, heart disease risk, or recurrent urinary issues. That is why a fruit that checks several boxes at once matters so much. The best choices before bed are not simply low in one mineral. They are the choices that work with the entire overnight environment. Lower inflammatory burden, gentler blood sugar response, practical portion control, and enough enjoyment that you will actually repeat the habit tomorrow. If you want to make this even more effective, pair the fruit habit with two other simple bedtime rules. First, stop heavy salty snacking in the final hours of the evening. Salt pulls fluid balance in the wrong direction and can contribute to higher overnight blood pressure and more morning swelling. Second, do not turn fruit into dessert by drowning it in syrup, whipped toppings, sweetened yogurt, or packaged sauces. The cleaner the fruit, the clearer the benefit. You do not need to make it perfect. You just need to avoid canceling out the value with ingredients that work against the reason you chose the fruit in the first place. And if you have ever been told to fear fruit because of sugar, slow down and look at the whole context. Whole fruit is not the same thing as fruit candy, fruit-flavored snacks, sweetened juice drinks, or concentrated smoothie blends loaded with added sugars. Whole fruit comes with fiber, water, texture, and natural portion limits. Most people do not overeat tart cherries, raspberries, or cranberries the way they overeat packaged sweets. That difference matters. Kidney support is rarely about extreme restriction. More often, it is about replacing the foods that quietly do damage with foods that deliver support in a form your body can actually use. So when you think about protecting your kidneys at night, think in layers. Better sleep supports healthier blood pressure patterns. Healthier blood pressure protects the tiny filters inside the kidneys. Lower inflammation protects blood vessels. Better blood sugar stability reduces stress on the whole system. Smarter evening food choices make all of that easier. That is why this conversation is bigger than one bowl of fruit. The fruit is the practical entry point. The real goal is building an evening routine that stops working against your kidneys and starts working with them. One more practical tip. If you are trying these fruits for the first time, keep a simple note for a week. What you ate, how close to bedtime you ate it, how you slept, and whether you felt more rested in the morning. Patterns become obvious faster when you write them down daily. Let me tell you about a common pattern I see. Someone starts worrying about their kidneys, reads a few scary lists online, and begins removing food after food after food. First it is bananas, then oranges, then tomatoes, then fruit altogether. Within a few weeks, their diet is more restricted, more stressful, and often less nutritious than before. They are eating fewer antioxidants, less fiber, and more packaged so-called safe foods, just because they look convenient. The result is not better health. The result is confusion. That is why adding the right foods can be just as important as avoiding the wrong ones. Everything in this video is educational, built around nutrition principles and practical kidney support, but it is not personalized medical advice. If you have chronic kidney disease, diabetes, severe fluid restrictions, or any question about potassium balance, review changes with your own medical team before turning them into a nightly habit. If you are taking blood thinners or other medications that come with food interactions, confirm specifics before adding new juices or concentrated fruit products. Your plan should always fit your body, not just a general recommendation. Your action plan for tonight is simple. First, choose tart cherries as your main bedtime fruit. Second, if you want variety, rotate in blueberries, strawberries, apples, grapes, raspberries, pineapple, or unsweetened cranberries in moderate portions. Third, keep your serving sizes sensible and your products unsweetened whenever possible. Fourth, pay attention to how you sleep, how your body feels, and what your doctor or dietitian has already told you about your kidney numbers. Start small, stay consistent, and let your evening routine become one more way you protect your kidneys instead of pressuring them. If you are building that bedtime bowl tonight, tell me in the comments which 3 fruits you are starting with. I read every single one. And if you want more clear, practical, well-sourced guidance like this, subscribe to Senior Diet Coach and turn on the bell. New videos come out every week covering what the research actually says about healthy aging, kidney support, blood sugar balance, and the foods that quietly help or hurt you after 60. My next video covers the common evening snack that looks harmless but steadily drives higher morning blood pressure. I will see you there.